And it's a shift of perception about everything you're already aware of. Right now, this is the kingdom of heaven, and right now, these are your brothers and sisters, the presence of God embodied by God, not by each of these individuals. Their presence is the presence of God embodied by God, and therefore they and you are God being all there is. So awakening is going to be the clearer and less complicated or less complex experience of everything you're already aware of. That's why I want you to bring your curiosity to right where you are, with the people you're already with. And the transition will be bearable, not unbearable. It will not be so great that it will be overwhelming. And the way to make it unfold in a bearable way starts with your being willing to be with your world in a new way, with curiosity, with an awareness first that it is reality with a capital R. It is the ultimate that you're experiencing in a limited way. Just a moment. And that therefore, it's the same thing you're experiencing with less density to it, with less and actually no conflict to it. And when you bring a little bit of curiosity to experience the more that is there than you are seeing, the simpler reality than what you're seeing, you're opening the door to your closet. And you will find the things you're already familiar with becoming illuminated to you in a new way. In ways that allow you to love it more proactively, if I may put it that way, with more willingness and more intent, because it's so much more lovable than you thought it was. And that constitutes opening the door a little bit more. And so everything seems to improve. But not so drastically that it blows your mind. Don't worry, none of you will abandon your well-established habits suddenly. And the control, the switch, if you will, the control to your practice of your habit is not in anyone else's hand to yank you unceremoniously out of your habit by turning it off suddenly. What that means is that it's all up to you. I can't do it, the Father can't do it. No one can do it but you. So you don't have to be afraid of anyone else waking you up before you're ready. And the awareness of this fact, putting the responsibility squarely on your shoulders, means that you are empowered, that you're not at the mercy of anything at all except your choices, what you choose to be committed to. Now there's something else to remember, and that is that life is the law of being. Being a verb. Life is the law of being. Therefore, you have no choice but to experience life, because God is being you as His infinite and eternal self-expression. So, since you have no other choice but existence, you have no other choice but life, you can choose for your current habit for as long as you wish. And you can create with your imagination apparently successive lifetimes, which are nothing more than artificially which is an interminable or eternal experience of being, artificially marked with start and stop times, if you will. It's still pure being, without variance, imagined to be broken up into a series of successive life experiences. My point is this: life is the law of being. Therefore, you have no other experience available to you. And that experience of life is interminable. You have total power as to how you're going to experience this interminable life. And you govern how you're going to experience it by means of the definitions you choose to give to everything, or by means of inquiring of God what the real meaning is of all of these things. So you know what? If you choose to stay in your closet for another couple of eons, you can, and you will not be damaged. You may suffer a lot, but you won't be damaged, and you won't lose your life over it. You'll just continue in a comfortable level of misery. And you'll be allowed to. And you won't be punished for it, except that misery is its own punishment, you might say. Misery is its own unpleasantness. So, here you are. I have completely empowered you. by telling you you're in charge of how you're going to experience the only thing there is, interminable life. That you're going to experience it miserably because you're insisting on giving your own definitions to it all, or you will abandon by choice and by a practice of discipline and by an exercise of curiosity and by remembering that you have in you a place of excellence, which is where the inspiration of truth comes forth to help you see things more clearly and resolve what your limited perception was causing you to experience as misery. And you can move into the conscious experience of reality as slowly or as fast as you choose. And you know what? Why not just do it for the heck of it? Don't make a big thing out of it. I want to awaken. I want to go through this transition. And then scare yourself with the definitions you put around the word transition or awakening. Just begin being the presence of love and caring in the little things each day, realizing that you have the capacity to be an agent for change. And in the little things, look to see God there. Unfortunately, it's all up to you. Fortunately, it's all up to you. The hardest part of what I have to share with you is that you only do what you love. Now, that's a wonderful truth. You only do what you love. You are always doing what you love. The shift that needs to occur is to start doing what is loving. You love to take care of yourself. You love to protect yourself. You love to defend yourself against what is unjust, what you perceive to be injustice. You love to be distrustful, not you specifically, all of you. You love to be scared. You do love to be scared. Why do you think amusement parks are so full? You love safe fear. The human condition is the practice of safe fear. Because you know what? Life is the law of being. So no matter how much fear you engage in, it can't alter the fact that life is the law of being. Therefore, no matter how rugged things become as a result of your practice of fear, you're still safe. You really are still safe. If cancer is eating away at you, you're still safe, because your being cannot be snuffed out. And if you play this fear, this cancer fear game out, and apparently die, you'll find out that you're still alive. You'll find that there wasn't a moment in which you were unconscious of being, and of being you. It was a safe fear to engage in, no matter how ugly you made and how fearsome you made the circumstances. So what's your motivation? If the only thing you can practice is safe fear, then what's the motivation? There's nothing left to threaten you with, to get you to wake up, is there? But it does help you to see that you're just engaging in an activity that creates for you certain experiences that don't reflect reality, and that you're capable of doing that even though you don't have to. Well, I know, can't you do something to make me do it? I really want to. Can't you give me a really good kick in the ass that will get me on my way? No. You only do what you love to do. So somewhere along the line, you will arrive at a point where you no longer love to practice safe fear in all of its awful apparent consequences, and you decide that you would love to do something else. The very fact that you're listening to me today means you've already arrived at a point where you do want to love something else. Fear is not creative. Love is. So you need to have a new object of your affection. You want to experience the truth. You want to experience the fact that you're right in the middle of the kingdom of heaven. You need to want to go out, to come out and play with us. But nobody can make you do it. Oh, we could try to come in, grab you by the arm, drag you out of the closet, bring you out into the glory of the kingdom of heaven. But you wouldn't stay there because you didn't come there from your own intent. You didn't come there because that's what you loved to do. That's what you loved giving your attention to. You see?
Yes.
Now, this is why you don't hear me giving you pep talks. Come on, guys. Come on, let's all pull together. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Come on. Now, you're almost there. Come on, come on. But I can empower you by showing you exactly what you're doing. And showing you that when you're practicing safe fear, you're having quite a ride, but nothing's happening of any real consequence. It's just very thrilling. Scares the shit out of you. And yet it's a practice of safe fear. once you see that you're doing it and that you're doing nothing, and you realize that you could be in the flow of the movement of creation, then you have clarity in your mind that allows you to make an intelligent choice. And being around somebody who's going to give you a pep talk and jack you up isn't what puts you in a place of clarity of mind that allows you to make an intelligent choice. What it does is it gets you to make an emotional choice that's not backed up by mindful clarity. You only do what you love. And so I'm telling you that you are doing what you love, practicing safe fear. It's a miserable experience that amounts to nothing. And you have another choice, and I invite you to make another choice, but you've got to find the place in you that wants to. You're the ones who walked away from home. You might say you're the ones who turned your back on it or closed your eyes to it and said, I would rather imagine the way it is myself. And you must reverse that and come back. And as I said, the way you reverse it is by being willing to acknowledge that there's more to everything you're experiencing than what you're currently experiencing. Realizing that allows you then to desire to experience it. Put your own love, your own intent behind it, because that's the way you open the door to your closet. And then you also bring into play, and I know I'm being repetitious, but you're not quite getting it, then you bring into play a practice of caring, realizing that you have the capacity to be an agent for change, which means that you have to go through your day realizing that you have the capacity to bless your brothers and your sisters and your world by approaching it from the place of excellence that's in you. That place of excellence is this cauldron, this pregnant void in which love moves with the intent of coming forth as the inspiration that undoes the definitions you've been holding that have kept you tied up in knots. And you also practice a little self-discipline so that you don't run off willy-nilly with your own emotions or your own confidence that it's a beautiful day because the way it looks today meets the definition of a beautiful day. You use enough self-definition to self-discipline to take even what you call a beautiful day and say, if in what I'm seeing, I'm not being reminded of holiness and divinity and the godness of it, there's more for me to see, and I want to see the more. Now, I have answered your question fully.
I agree. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. We are going to take another break. You might find that you need a few more minutes to let this sink in. Okay. Okay. Hands. Finally. Right here. Where is the microphone? Ah.
I'm asking this at the risk that you're going to say, didn't you hear my introduction? I've been in a relationship for many years with a man named Don. We live together. The bottom line of my question is, should I continue to stay in the relationship or not? Don has a lot of love and curiosity and generosity, and we do love each other, and I have grown within the relationship. But I tend to focus on what's lacking, and I'm always thinking I should leave. I yearn for the freedom to fulfill my heart's desire. I hear myself saying things like, I want to dance naked in the moonlight with someone. I want to hike and travel and appreciate the beauty and depth of nature with someone. I want to just be with a person at times and feel connected and close to them. I want to hold hands and pray together and ask God together, how shall we spend the day? I want to be with someone who is clear enough and willing to share their inner foibles, vulnerabilities, and fears, and will discuss and work through the issues that come up that separate us. I can do all these things, but seemingly not with Don. However, when I did have clear opportunities to leave, or when I feel that Don is angry or upset with me, I go into abject terror. Last spring, he broke up with me and went out with someone else, and I had the perfect opportunity to move on, but instead felt abandoned, rejected, and in pain, so that I was way out of my comfort zone. So I pursued him and got him back. So now, Raj, I say, Uncle, and ask, how do I deal with my abject fear? And do I bite the bullet and leave, or do I bite the bullet and stay? What is the divine reality here?
Well, who are you saying uncle to? You don't have to answer that. You need to say it to Dawn. You need to yield to the relationship. Really. Dancing in the moonlight naked is not going to be an eternal, soul-satisfying experience. It's like wanting to have a 2-carat diamond. And you get it. And for a while, it fascinates you and gets a lot of your attention. And after a while, it means nothing more than a 1/4-carat diamond to you, because you've been there, done that. When it comes to relationships, you can't say, been there, done that. Because relationship is an eternal thing. Right now, you're having trouble with a relationship with one person. When you're awake, you will be in constant, intimate relationship with absolutely every son and daughter of God. At the bottom line, what you're asking for is freedom to be yourself freely. And you want to be able to be yourself freely with someone else being themselves freely. But at the bottom line, you don't really want it to be free, because you want to be able to do this with another who's committed to you and that you will be committed to. If you really want to be with someone who's free to be himself, you'll let him go off and have another relationship for a while.